Hello wonderful people, welcome to my channel. My name is Ayushi. I'm an Indian passport holder and my passport was about to expire. That is when I started searching about the passport renewal process. I found out that recently Indian government has changed its vendor from CKGS to VFS Global. Due to this recent change, not much information was available online. I had to spend a lot of time researching about the application steps, affidavits required, right set of documents, and whether they should be notarized or self-attested. That is why I thought of making this video to list out step-by-step process for the passport renewal. Hopefully this will benefit you guys and will save you some time. If you like my video and find it useful, please do not forget to like and subscribe my channel. Let us now proceed towards the first and foremost step in the passport renewal process.
You will have to create a passport application on the Indian government website. I'll include the link for the website in my description, so don't worry about that. If you're a first-time user, click on register to register yourself and then use the same login ID and password to log into the portal to start the process. If you're a first-time user, make sure you select the right embassy or consulate. I selected New York as that was nearest to my place. Give the exact name and surname which is there on your passport. Have a valid email ID. And once you have filled in all these details, click on register. Since I am already a registered user, I'll be logging in to the portal using the third option, which is user login. Once you enter your user ID and password, you will land on this page. Since we are applying for reissue of the passport, select the first option. It will take us to this 9-step process. We're applying for the reissue of passport. Make sure you select the right option over here. Since my passport was about to expire, I selected this one. Anything that you want to change in the existing personal particulars, you can then select this checkbox and select any of these checkboxes. My case was not present over here. My first name and the last name are merged and kept in the first name. So on my passport, last name is blank. And that is why I applied for split up. There could be other categories which are not given over here. For example, if there is a change in the spelling of the birthplace, you can click on others and then specify over here. For other things, I'm selecting normal, 36 page. Make sure you give name and the surname that's there on your passport, and if you are changing your name or surname, the changed name and the surname will be here. Make sure you read these categories and then select the respective option. If you have an Aadhaar card number, make sure you give it and then select I agree. If you don't have it, leave it blank and click on next. Father and mother name are mandatory. If you don't give it, it will show you an error and you'll have to provide these names. Presence of applicant is not mandatory at the Indian address. So you have to give at least one Indian address when you are applying for the reissue of the passport. So for example, if it says your passport printable address out of India, no. So I wanted my Indian address to be on my passport, and hence I selected this option. Make sure you give a valid ID over here, and also the police station where your particular address falls under. Now, since I have already given an Indian address over here, I can actually give an Indian address or a US address over here. So you will have to select this green checkbox. So if you're not selecting a change in address, that's fine. But if you are selecting a change in address, you will have to have a valid address. Emergency contact details. You'll have to provide previous passport details very carefully. File number will be there in your passport. So make sure to give the correct file number over here. Make sure you read all these options and then select the respective option pertaining to your case. Make sure you read all these questions carefully and then select the respective option. For me, the answer to all these questions was no, and that is why I am selecting no. Make sure you read it very carefully and then mark it as per your case. Make sure you review it so that none of the options are none of the answers that you selected are wrong. It is ready for a review. Let's click on the next passport review. Once you are sure that all the information provided on this page are accurate to the point, you can then click on I agree, mention place, date, and click on submit. Now on this screen, make sure you note down your application reference number, because this will be used when we are filling the application on VFS Global. So note down this application reference number and save it somewhere. Click on the home button. You will see that the application reference number is over here and your case is actually generated on the home page. Select this option and you will get to see print application form and track application status. This would not be enabled right now, but you can print your application form. Make sure that it is printed only on one side of the white paper and the back side blank. Do not double print. And you should sign the printed application with a black or a blue pen only.
Now let us proceed towards the VFS application.
Visit the VFS Global website and create an application here. I'll give you the link of this website in my description. So once you are here on this page, click on the passport icon. Make sure whatever inputs you give here are consistent with the inputs you have given on the Indian government website. Normal passport service is passport about to expire. I had a 10 years validity. New York, which I gave on the other application as well. You cannot change this. Regarding the payment mode, you have 3 options. It is recommended, and I would suggest you that you can probably select the online payment by debit card and credit card, which is hassle-free. You will have to pay some additional service fee, but VFS Global generates the label for you for the to and fro shipment and sends it to you. So it becomes a bit easier. And obviously, if you want, you can go with the first 2 options as well. Yes, I have a legal status. Whatever booklet I selected there, I should select here as well. And whatever options I gave on the passport application, I should give it here as well. Once you click on proceed, once you land on this page, you'll see a breakdown of the total amount that you will be paying to VFS Global. And if you want to download the document checklist, you can click here, download it, save it, and then see the checklist, which contains all the documents pertaining to your case. Let's click on proceed button for the payment. Once you click on the proceed button, you'll be asked to register and activate the registration by email. Make sure you give the required email ID, your current mobile number, first name and last name as per your passport. And once you click submit, you will land on this page. Make sure you visit your email ID and click on the activation link. Once you have clicked on the activation link, you will have the email ID and password. Enter both of these details, hit on continue to start the application process on the VFS Global. Once you land on the VFS Global homepage, you need to click on create new application. Make sure you put visiting country as India, citing country as USA, center should be the same that you have given in the other application, reissue of the passport, about to expire and 10 years validity, and make sure you select the right mode of payment. Click on continue. Click on add customer. Make sure you provide all the relevant details over here. The reference number over here should be the same that was generated once we submitted our application on the Indian government website. Select the same booklet, your passport number, date of birth, and all these details should exactly match with whatever details you have given on the passport application website. Once you are done, click submit and you will be able to add a new customer. Once you add customer, you will see a row appear like this, which will have the government reference number, the ARN over here, which is exactly matching to the application reference number, which was generated when we submitted the application on Indian government website. Make sure to note this reference number down, because this is VFS Global reference number, which will be used, and you would be using this to search your application if you're automatically logged out. So make sure you note this down. Sometimes you don't get a select courier service drop down over here. In that case, you should definitely log out, log in, and then click on retrieve incomplete application. Once you provide this reference number there, you should be able to you should be able to log in and see this drop down. As suggested earlier, it is recommended that you use VFS offered courier service. Hassle-free, VFS generates prepaid labels for you and it becomes really easier. Click on continue. Make the payment, which will appear, the screen will appear once you hit continue. The total cost for the shipment is $127.20. Do not forget to send a prepaid envelope for the return shipping in case you're using your own courier service. Once you reach over here, make sure you enter your own mailing address and not the VFS Global address. The USA address on the prepaid shipping label should actually match the proof of address document that you submit with your application. So make sure to write exact same street address, code, city, state, and once you click on validate, it will actually validate the address entered, and then you click on submit. You will be automatically taken to the payment site once you have made the payment on the site and the payment is complete. You can download the shipping labels and send your application package. Let me take you to the more important part of the application process, which is the right set of documents, whether they should be notarized or self-attested, and what all are the mandatory evidence. If you remember, we downloaded this document while we were completing our application process on VFS Global. I will take all of these documents in detail, and in addition to these mandatory documents, I'll also take you through two specific examples. First one on the split of name, the document required for that specific case, and the second one is on the change in the spelling of the birthplace. First document is a checklist for reissue of passport. Make sure you enter the right details over here, matching with the details you entered in both of your applications. This checklist would serve as the cover page along with all the documents and your application, which would be sent to VFS Global. So make sure that data entries provided in your application matches and is consistent with whatever you're giving over here. First document after the cover page, which is checklist, would be the government application online form. And as mentioned earlier, make sure that you have mentioned one Indian and one USA address in the application form. This section is for minors. For adults, Annexure E is mandatory. I'll go through the Annexure E next after completing the checklist. Then there is an affidavit for change of appearance and signature, which should be notarized. Self-sworn affidavit, which is to confirm for how long have you been staying outside India. You need to submit a valid status proof for your stay in the USA. These are all the documents that you would be required to submit. US proof of address, which is mandatory, and it should be notarized as well. Same goes for the valid status in the USA, that should be notarized as well. 2 photographs with these specifications. Now, Indian passport, along with the first 5 and last 2 pages of your current passport, is mandatory to be submitted along with the application forms and the other set of documents. Make sure to enclose the application confirmation receipt along with your application and the required documents. Do not forget this. If it's a minor, then these are the additional documents required to be submitted. And the checklist as mentioned, which is like the cover page of the entire document set. These are some of the additional documents which are mandatory for lost and damaged passport. Let me talk about the Indian address proof. So if you are applying for a change or say an addition of the Indian address, then a self-attested copy of these documents is mandatory. Any of these documents. The next 3 sections are on the change of name. So feel free to go through these details as per your case. And the last section is also on the Indian address, for which we need to submit a self-attested copy along with the passport application form. And this could be anything. It could be either printed on your passport or it could be a part of other address details. Because if you remember, one Indian and one USA address is mandatory to include. The next document in the list is Annexure E. Basically, this is just a declaration of the applicant. So this you will have to fill your name over here, residing at, this is the current address, father, mother, wife or husband's name, and you'll have to mention the address over here for which you will be submitting the address proof as well. Put your signature, place and date over here. The next document on the list is the affidavit for change in appearance and signature. Your name, father's name, current address, passport number, the issue date and place. And this is specifically, even if your appearance and signature has not changed, make sure you mark the right option over here. You have to affix your photo over here, signature, date and place. As mentioned earlier, you have to make this document notarized and you have to sign in front of the notary. So please don't forget that. The last mandatory document is the self-sworn affidavit for Indian address. Make sure you tick the right option over here, whether you have been residing outside of India for more than 5 years or not. Last known address in India to be written over here, along with your signature, date and place. Let me quickly reiterate on the self-attested and notarized documents. Checklist, you'll have to sign over here. Don't forget to sign over here for Annexure E. Sign in this box in front of the notary, and this document will be notarized as well. And don't forget to sign over here for the self-sworn affidavit. Now let me take you through two specific examples. First one is on split of name.
I had a different change that is called split of name. So in my Indian passport, first name and the last name are merged and placed in the first name. So I have a missing last name. And for splitting of the name,
you'll have to submit a notarized deed poll affidavit and at least 2 public documents, that is voter ID, Aadhaar card, school certificate or any government ID. Make sure that if the applicant is residing in USA continuously for over 3 years, then both Indian and US government IDs should be submitted. Let me take you through the deed poll affidavit. So this is the format which will be available online. And it was very confusing when I first started looking at it, specifically where should I fill the old name, where should I fill the new name. So in this example, old name is FNU Rita Singh and new name, that is the split after the split of name, it is Rita Singh. Rita being the first name and Singh being the last name. So this is the format. You'll have to give the new name over here, old name over here, your current profession. You'll have to give your current US address over here, old name, new name. Over here you'll be providing new name. This is the current date where you would be signing in front of the notary. Now make sure when you're signing in front of notary, you have like 2 of your friends along with you, because they are required to put their name and address in front of notary, and then this document will be notarized as well.
Let us talk about the second example, which is the change in the spelling of place of birth. We could not find any specific format for the self-sworn affidavit for the same, and hence we use this format, and we have got our new passport with the spelling changed. So hopefully this can be used by you guys as well. So this is just the format of the paragraph for the name and what is the request in this self-sworn affidavit. This is the current spelling in the passport, and this is the correct spelling that we want on the passport. Signature, date and place. Along with this, we need a notarized copy of a government ID which has the correct spelling of the birthplace.
Now let me summarize the conversation. So in a nutshell, passport renewal process is listed here. The timeline for getting the Indian passport renewed is on this slide. And this is just a summary of the documents required. I actually prepared these 3 slides to present the summary to you at the end of this video.
Thank you guys for watching my video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe my channel.